Welcome to my little Taobao series. This is going to be the first video explaining how to actually check out and find your items on Taobao, because it can be a little bit tricky to actually search for things. And if you have any questions or anything, please leave them down below and I'll do my best to answer them. And just so you know too, I did this tutorial assuming that you already have a Taobao account or an Alipay or whatever. So if you don't have one of those accounts, I'll link some tutorials down below of how to actually set one up. It's pretty simple. I didn't bother showing how to actually make an account since there's a lot of really good tutorials online already. So once you get your account ready, please follow along and hopefully this will help you out. Thank you so much. Hey guys, so I'm gonna show you guys how you can buy all your good cosplay goodies off Taobao. It can be a bit intimidating if you don't speak Mandarin like me and you can't read Mandarin, also like me, since the whole website is a Mandarin and there's no English version of the website. So I'll show you guys the tips and tricks that I've learned over the last few months of buying things off Taobao, and hopefully it won't be as scary anymore. So the first thing is I recommend using a browser where you can translate the web page right away without having to like copy and paste stuff. So I like using Chrome because it has like this, you can see this little translate this page button at the top right. And that's very helpful since some things you can get by without translating, but some things you need to be able to read what it says. And it saves you time from having to copy and paste things into a translator app and so on and so forth. So before you start anything, make sure you're using a browser like Chrome or anything else that has like a web page translation thing going on. So let's say that we want to get an Idolmaster costume. So you'd think, oh, I'll just type in Idolmaster cosplay or something like that, and you'll probably find stuff if you just type it in English. I guess not for this one, but sometimes sellers know that English-speaking people will go on here and try to find cosplay. So if they use all English words in the title, they tend to also mark up the price to try to get foreigners to pay more. So a good rule of thumb is to actually find out what the name of what you're looking for is in Mandarin, and that way you can find a lot more options and also some better prices. So the way I find out what something is called in Mandarin is I use Wikipedia, and this is actually a trick that my friend Oscar showed me. So we can type in Idolmaster, and we just want to find the Wikipedia page, like not like a fan wiki, but the actual like Wikipedia page for it. So we go here, and then you want to go to where these languages are down here, and you want to click on the Chinese one. And then now we have the name in Chinese. So we can copy this and paste this into here. And we also wait a while. And eventually we'll have some cosplay stuff and some figures and other things like that. And if you want to just see cosplays, a lot of sellers put like not cosplay, but just the COS part of cosplay in the title for the costumes. So normally I'll type in the name of the show and cos. If you're looking for a specific character, that can be a little bit more tricky to find the name. So what I normally do is I'll type in just the name of the anime and cos, and I just keep scrolling until I find the character I want to do. And let's say I can find like this version, but I want to do a different outfit, but I want to at least figure out what her name is in Mandarin. You can normally open this up and then translate. And sometimes down in this product details, it'll say series and character, and then you can just grab the character name. In this case, if we look at the English here, this part here is probably the character's actual name in the show. So we can translate this back. Whoop. Okay, this part's a little bit tricky when it's not as obvious. So we can put it back. So we can see this name is in between the word cosplay and cos. And then we put it back. Cosplay and cost. Okay. And then we want to go on Google Translate. And then we type it in. And we know it's in between the word cosplay and cost. Ooh. Probably not that part. And then probably not that part. There we go. So we get kind of found the name kind of a gross way, but oh, and that, ooh, was that not the right way? Oh. What I normally do is if in the first picture I find, if the name and series isn't actually there, then I will keep opening other tabs until there's actually a listing with the character name, because I just find it a lot easier than trying to like figure it out like that. So I just put in just the name without the cause, and now we can see a bunch of that character. So it's a bit of a pain in the butt, but you can get some really good deals, so it's worth the pain, I would say. So, and once you find what you want, so let's say we want to get this, you can see without even putting the translator on that there's different sizes, and these are in Chinese sizes, so they run a lot smaller than American sizes. So for example, in clothes in American sizes, I'm either like an extra small or a small, but then on Taobao, I'm normally a medium, sometimes a large, sometimes maybe a small, but like most of the time I just get a medium to be on the safe side. And normally, yeah, down here, they'll write the different sizes. So I think it goes like height, bust, waist, hips is normally how it always goes. So whatever the row with the biggest number is normally the height, and then the bust, waist, hips in centimeters, obviously. And that gives you a good idea as well, because some places run really small, some places run really large, but normally it's never very large. But it's always good to just double check with those numbers. The other thing that's nice to look for, so let's see, you found what you want, you can look at the size and you know what size you want, is you want to look at, sometimes it'll say spot, but sometimes it'll say like, there'll be a little green thing that says customize or pre-order, and you always want to look and see what these things say, because sometimes it can be a pre-order, so they won't actually ship it for a few months, maybe even like 6 months. Sometimes it takes a long time for them to make stuff. So you always want to make sure you read the translated stuff as best as you can. Like here it's in stock, so this should ship pretty quickly. Let's open up I should open up the wig and see. Because there's, let's try to see. Sometimes there's this thing, some shops, they don't have any information on the side, but other shops do have information. You'll see what I mean. I just need to find one that's looks a little bit, okay, yeah, there we go. So sometimes, so the other dress I showed you was from something called Tmall, and I don't really know what that means. I think it's like specific stores or something are on Tmall, but which is still Taobao. It's just like a different subdivision or something like that. I'm not like 100% sure. But the other thing is, if you see an item for sale that looks like this, where you have this sidebar, it's always good to look at, because this tells you the rating of the store. So if, let's say you're looking at 3 wigs that are all the exact same wig but all different sellers, it's a good thing to go with the one that has the most amount of diamonds, because that just means they have a good reputation on the website. This little blue bouncy thing, that is to chat with the store, and I can do another video on how to use the chat. It's actually not too bad. This here, we'll translate it. Non-refundable. So the other thing that's nice is certain things China won't mail, or I should say Taobao won't mail to Canada or to other countries. For example, like sunglasses, they won't let Taobao mail those to Canada. and also like large props like big cardcaptor Sakura wands and stuff. Sometimes they won't mail those either. So sometimes just to check if you're unsure, like wigs and stuff, I don't check because I know they're gonna deliver it. But if you're unsure, there's this delivery here, and it lists all these different countries. So it's good to check that overseas is an option. If overseas isn't an option, then that means that they probably will not sell it here. So that's just something just to be mindful of. Um, what else is there here? There's also reviews too. I find most reviews aren't very helpful, but positive, okay. But sometimes people will post pictures of what the costume actually looks like on a person. So that's pretty helpful as well. I think that's about it for this page. And then when you want to add it to the cart, so let's say we want to add this wig to the cart. So if you hover over, there's a little description. So sometimes there might be a costume and a wig and like socks, and maybe one box is like to get the socks and the costume and the wig. Then the other box is just the costume, and then another box is like just the wig, and so on and so forth. So it's nice to like hover over and read these descriptions to know the differences. So this one, you get a hairnet and hair wax, and this one is just with the hairnet, so you can make a decision there. And then when you want to add it to the cart, I find when I'm using a translated page, I'm not able to add it to the cart. So once I'm happy with my selections up here for whatever you want, you can just put it back in Mandarin and then click on the cart button. And it normally takes a second. There we go. So you probably saw it like jump up and go into the cart. And then that little pop-up says probably something like, congratulations, you added this to the cart. Something like that. Maybe. I could be wrong, but so that's how you add stuff to the cart. The other thing that I do as well, so normally you add it to the cart and then you can check out. But what I like to do is I use the cart like a wish list. So if I'm looking up fake cosplay, let's say, because you can't get too much fake cosplay, and then I will just browse. Sometimes I don't even have a character in mind. I'm just like, I just want to do something for fake. So I'll search fake cosplay, and then I'll just start scrolling down. And whenever I see a costume that I like, I right click on it and open a new tab. And then once I've kind of added all my tabs, I'll go through and add each item to the cart. And that way I have like a wish list. So let's say I'm like, I think I want to buy something from Fate, but I'm not sure. I'll go into my cart and I'll say, oh, I have this, this, and this. I think I'll get this time, and maybe next time I'll pick up the other thing. And it's a nice way to kind of have your own little like cosplay wish list of stuff. And it's nice sometimes, even if you just search like just cosplay or cos, you can just scroll and find a bunch of cool stuff, and maybe you'll even find a character that you wanted to do but you just kind of forgot about. So it's kind of a neat way to discover new things and to open up and to make a nice new wish list. Another thing too is if you're a fan of Lolita, I know they don't have like, well, they don't have like official like brands like Angelic Pretty and stuff, but they do have a lot of these really neat Taobao brands that have really beautiful dresses, and you can always add all those to your cart too. But if that's something you'd like to see, let me know, and I could do another video of different Lolita brands on Taobao. So I think this is enough for one part. So I'll film another part of how you actually check out and actually make your purchase. So I'll show you guys how to do that next time.